You're listening to Galway Talks with John Morley. We're looking now at functional neurological disorder because April is FND Awareness Month, and I'm joined on the line by Eamon McPartlin, who is the founder and chairperson of FND Ireland, and also by Miriam Collins, who's a student who attends University of Galway and is going to tell us about the challenges of student life having been diagnosed with FND at a young age. You're both very welcome onto the programme. And first to you, Eamon, tell us a bit about FND. What is functional neurological disorder?
Thanks, John, and good morning to your listeners. So, functional neurological disorder, John, is a condition known as FND, and it can present with lots of different neurological symptoms. And these occur due to a problem with how the brain and body send and receive signals. So, the symptoms can vary from person to person, and they may include functional weakness and tremors. Some people can have sensory and cognitive issues, functional seizures, and speech and swallowing difficulties. And I suppose the reason we wanted to raise awareness during FND Awareness Month is that FND is very common. It's a condition that's as common as MS. There's an estimated 9,000 people living with FND in Ireland. And also just to highlight that it in the main affects the young working age population, but is becoming increasingly diagnosed in teenagers.
And you are the founder and chairperson of FND Ireland. Talk to us about why you set it up, Eamon, and what supports you provide.
Yeah, so we set up FND Ireland a year ago, and we just got registered as a charity in the last month. Our main supports...
You still there, Eamon?
Our main supports are to do with advocacy, awareness, information, research.
We just seem to have a bad line there for Eamon. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to go and get Eamon back on a better line there, because his line just seems to be dropping on me there. But we're going to go over to Miriam, who is a student who attends University of Galway, and he's going to tell us about what it's like doing student life, having been diagnosed with FND. Miriam, what is it like day to day going through life in college with FND?
It is, honestly, it can be quite complicated. So to give an overview, as Eamon said, there's a lot of different symptoms you can have with FND, and personally I have quite regular functional seizures, as well as weakness, tremors, balance and coordination difficulties, and a lot of fatigue. And any student in Galway can tell you there's a lot of walking involved, which can be a big trigger for me. So navigating college has been, I started having symptoms when I was 14, but I only received a diagnosis of FND when I was 18. And I've been navigating, I'm from Meath, so I moved across the country for college. So I was living independently, being a college student, and also having to manage my own care. So I've had to seek out supports a lot of the time, and a lot of self-advocacy, which can be really exhausting.
Okay. I think we have Eamon back in the line now. Eamon, you just tell us about the supports you give there in FND Ireland.
Yeah, apologies, John. Yes, I'm back. Yeah, so what I'd mentioned there is that in relation to supports, I suppose there's 5 key areas that we focus on, and they would be support in the form of peer support meetings, which we have a meeting in Galway that Miriam would attend, advocacy, awareness, information and research. And I just want to highlight, just in relation particularly to our support and advocacy, in relation to advocacy, we've been fortunate through our lobbying over the last year to secure a commitment by the government to fund the first ever FND clinic in the country in St James's Hospital in Dublin. But we need more of these clinics throughout the country, including one in Galway. And just to let listeners know that we will be in Leinster House on Tuesday, April the 29th. And at that stage, we're going to present to Oireachtas members on FND. So we'd love anyone living with FND to reach out to their local politician.
And in terms of fundraising, Eamon, because I know it's very difficult for a newly formed charity to get funds in, how are you doing on that front?
Yes, John, yeah. So just, it's a challenge, as you mentioned. So we've launched this month our 5K for FND fundraiser. And people can choose to walk, run or wheel the 5K throughout the month of April. And at the moment, it's great. We've got people involved in teams in 10 different counties. in the country, and my old workplace in Galway, Tobin's, will be doing the 5K in Galway, and I just want to thank some other businesses I would know well in Galway too who are supporting us. So for anyone who would like to get involved, they can go to our 5K for S&D event page on iDonate. It just takes minutes to set up their own fundraising page, or they can visit our website, www.snd.ie, and also on that website they'll be able to get information about the services we provide and also how to contact us.
Yeah, Miriam, if I go back to you, what sort of support has F&D Ireland been to you since you tapped into them? How did you hear about them?
I came across F&D Ireland completely by chance. I would follow a lot of the international F&D organisations on Instagram, and F&D Ireland came up one day and I was like, that's new. And I saw they had their first support group in Galway last October, and I just figured I was going through a really bad period of a bad stint with my own symptoms, and I just thought, might give this a go. And honestly, it really was the first time that I felt empowered with my condition, and gave me a sense of where to go with seeking treatment and supports, because I didn't really receive that kind of support from any healthcare practitioners, unfortunately. My GP didn't know about F&D. My neurologist was not willing to refer me to the necessary supports. So really hearing other people's journey made me feel a lot less alone, but also gave me a lot of insight into where to go with my own treatment and accessing supports in the medical system from people who've been dealing with F&D for a long time.
And Eamon, you have had that journey yourself, including 25 years here in Galway.
That's right, John. Yes. So I lived in Galway for 25 years. I only moved back to Leitrim a few years ago, where I'm originally from. And it was a challenge initially, just like Miriam mentioned there, trying to get a diagnosis of F&D. I actually had to travel to London myself to get that diagnosis and get some treatment. So that's why we're so passionate at F&D Ireland, to raise awareness of the condition, to get supports in place in the HSE, so that people in Ireland can access vital services and support, and in particular for young people like Miriam, that are on the journey living with F&D.
Remind us again of how they can tap into your peer group supports, and also about the fundraiser here in Galway.
So, John, in relation to connecting with us, the best way is through our website, www.fnd.ie. There you will basically see an option to contact us in relation to our peer support group meetings, which are held in Galway City. And in relation to the fundraiser, they'll be able to get details there on the website as well, but also too on our 5K for S&D event page, which is on iDonate.
Eamon McPartlin, the founder and chair of F&D Ireland, and also Miriam Collins, thank you both for joining us on Galway Talks this morning.